Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this panel discussion titled Collaboration for Growth, Building a Thriving and Innovative Security and Defense Ecosystem. Moderated by Lara Habib, Senior Business News Presenter, Al Arabiya. Our panelists are Sheikh Salman bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, Chief Executive Officer, National Cybersecurity Center, Kingdom of Bahrain. Dan Cîmpean, Director, National Cybersecurity Directorate, Romania. General Retired Jean-Paul Paloméros, Transformation Supreme Commander, NATO, 2012 to 2015.
Thank you all. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here to discuss today's panel topic, which is collaboration in building a thriving and innovative defense ecosystem. We all know that the world isn't getting any simpler. Security threats today don't just come from land, sea, or air. They also come from a laptop, from a drone, or even from a line of code. So in other words, the battlefield these days can fit in your pocket. And that means no country, no company, and no alliance can tackle this challenge alone. So this panel is about collaboration. It's about how governments, the private sector, and innovators can work together to create a security and defense ecosystem that's not only strong, but also agile and innovative. So let's dive in with our speakers, each of whom brings a unique perspective. Thank you all for being with us. Sheikh Salman, let me start this conversation with you. What can you tell us about the current collaboration that Bahrain is seeking on an international and regional level in terms of its defense and security ecosystem?
Thank you, Lara. I just want to start off and say it's a pleasure to be here again. It's always impressive, and I don't think can do better, but it gets better and better every year. To answer your question, I think collaboration is fundamental for cybersecurity. We take in case in point the NCSC. We were just recently established in the last 4 years, and we consider ourselves very new in the sector. With the collaboration we had internationally with the NCSC UK, our counterparts in the US, and our counterparts in the region, we were able to establish ourselves fairly quickly, to learn from our colleagues, whether it is how to plan your strategy, how to implement your strategy, and how to deal with the mistakes that they have dealt with, because you want to learn from other people's mistakes. So at even the establishment level, that cooperation allowed Bahrain to quickly elevate its ranking according to the UN. So we were at level 3 4 years ago. In a matter of 3 years, we were able to go up to the level 1. And that can only happen with the cooperation. Now, that doesn't end. Cooperation happens at a threat intelligence level, where you're able to gather information from counterparts in the region, your counterparts from the East and the West, and that gives you a better insight on the kind of threats that you're seeing in your own landscape. Likewise, it's a shared responsibility, so we also collaborate back with nuances that we also see ourselves. So you have this push and pull kind of approach with threat intelligence. We also cooperate at a regional level in more in-depth areas, such as, for example, how do we unify our strategies? So you will see now that the GCC has a unified strategy in cybersecurity. You will see now the Arab Council has a unified cybersecurity strategy. That shows you the intent. The intent is our cooperation together to elevate everyone's readiness in cybersecurity. So that kind of collaboration at a technical level, at a governance level, allows this region to cooperate together to elevate this readiness. So I think it is fundamental, and no country can stand alone.
And how was this collaboration, especially with the GCC countries, was it efficient throughout the years, although we have seen during certain times a rift between these GCC countries?
So, when it comes to security, specifically in the GCC level, there is no compromise. We are, so you look at NATO. NATO are partners in geography, in continent. The GCC is not only through geography, we are literal tribes that are intermarried. There is no literal border. So what touches the security of one country affects us all literally. And you've seen that in the Gulf War, and now you will see that at the cyber level. And we have always cooperated, no matter what the cases are.
And how does also the picture change after the recent attack on Qatar?
That has not changed. We are one. What an attack in Qatar is an attack on all of us. And
it will increase collaboration.
We are collaboration at max, so we haven't tapered down. There is no limits to our cooperation. Literally everything, it's available to us and to Qatar and to Saudi and Kuwait and the UAE and Oman. There is no bars. There's nothing held back. So there's nothing to increase because everything, it is a max. And you've seen this, how our leaders in the region have moved in any attack immediately.
Thank you, Sheikh Salman. And that incident triggered something that is similar to a NATO defense pact.
Yes.
So let's discuss general NATO before I move to you, Dan. NATO, the alliance has been there for more than 75 years, and it witnessed the Cold War, and now it's witnessing the Ukrainian-Russian war. So how did this alliance shape the defense and security ecosystem of its 32 members?
Thank you, thank you. And I think that the motto of this conference, scaling cohesive investment, is perfect for NATO. This is exactly what NATO has done since 1949. And it recalls me as well an old say, I think it's an African say, which suggests that if you want to go fast, it's better to go alone. If you want to go far, better to go in a group, in a team. But nowadays, the problem NATO is facing is that we need to go fast and far together. So we have to learn to go fast together. And I think that GCF is a wonderful opportunity to do that. And this is exactly what we try to achieve in NATO. Since 1949, 12 countries at the beginning, after the Second World War, say, no, it's not possible that we live another world war, so we will stop that. And they created, and that was a wonderful idea, they created this alliance for peace. NATO is an alliance for peace and security. Now we have 32 members, as you say. Last comers, Montenegro, North Macedonia. It's huge, Sweden, Finland. So why they come? Because they find the same values, and they want to protect their peace, their freedom, and their ability to move together and not to being attacked by anybody. This is why in 2014, we decided, I was the commander of NATO for transformation, building the future. We decided to put cyber as a domain, like exactly what you say, as the other. But it's a different domain that sea, land, ground, or even outer space, because it is really common to all other domains. So it's so crucial. NATO cannot afford to lose the battle of cyber, because if we lose the battle of cyber, that means that we will lose the battle at all. And that was really striking in the beginning of the war in Ukraine, that the Russian attacked a VSAT company which was providing communications to Ukraine. But Ukraine has worked a lot on resiliency, thanks to the partnership with NATO and other partners in the private companies that some are represented here. And they managed to survive to that. It is very important to build that, to build this confidence. And I see, to be short, a clear link between what you do here, and this is the first time I come, and I'm very happy and very proud to be here, I tell you, and what we do in NATO. It's very similar. We are working for peace together, and the country which is instrumental in doing that is Estonia. Why? Because they have been attacked in 2007, a huge attack against Estonian infrastructure. But they didn't stop their digital transformation, not at all. They carry on modernizing, but they secure that as well. And now they are the most advanced in terms of cybersecurity. Their former president, Mr. Ilves, is a very knowledgeable people. He pushed very much to make NATO cyber as a NATO new domain. And in addition, they provide, and you know this place, a wonderful cyber center of excellence in Tallinn, where you can train, you can educate, you can share, you can simulate, and you can exercise. 1,000 people from 32 nations from NATO and other partners working together. And I really stress that because simulation and exercising are the best tool to improve your resilience and to make sure that the people are able to work together. So very happy to be here, and a clear link between NATO missions, NATO assets, NATO will to protect the cyber space and what you do here.
Thank you, General. Dan, Romania has been a NATO country for more than 20 years. What did this bring to the table?
Thank you so much for the question. First of all, I'm very honored and privileged to be here again at GCF in Riyadh. Romania, of course, it's a member of this very important alliance. And one of the lessons learned from our perspective of being part of an important alliance is that you need to rely on others. You need to have this solidarity. You need to bring to the table capacity, capabilities. And when it comes to cybersecurity and to the cyber domain, especially in a world with no borders, with everything moving very, very fast from a technology perspective, please do not forget capabilities are key, are very important. And it is important for each and every single state, each and every single government, not to neglect those capabilities that now are very, very important to be built in the cyberspace. You need incident responders, you need threat analysts. It's also important how many network engineers you have, how many experts, how many tools, what kind of infrastructure you can put forward. In particular, when cross-border incidents, major incidents may happen. Because at that time, actually, countries are reaching out for support and help from other countries. And it's very, very important to be prepared for that moment. Let's not be naive. In cybersecurity domain, incidents will happen. Attacks will happen. It's a matter of when, not if. They are more and more significant in magnitude, in consequences. And mind you, most of them, they are not anymore local. They don't hit only one governmental agency or one company or one sector. They have cross-border impact. So one of the lessons learned from our perspective is that you need to invest heavily in building capacity. You need to organize and do exercise with your friends, allies, and like-minded countries, with the entire civilized world. Let me put it like that. And be ready for such incidents, be ready to contain them, to isolate them, to respond and to increase at the end of the day resilience. And in cyberspace, it's more complicated because everything is one click away. And as long as your attackers can be anywhere in the world and can act with impunity, your friends and allies should do the same.
And you need to invest heavily in the emerging technologies that we are seeing that will highly affect defense. So from that point, Sheikh Salman, how much is Bahrain investing with the big tech US companies in order to bring these emerging technologies? I'm talking here about, of course, AI primarily, and then we have maybe quantum computers at a later stage. And briefly, please, because we don't have much time left.
In short, there are a lot of buzzwords, but I think the prevailing technology that we in the region need is AI. There's a shortage of supply of AI, and AI is a technology that cuts both ways. So it is an asset and a curse at the same time. We are heavily moving towards the cloud, heavily moving towards AI, and we expect that to be there. But we need to offer guardrails to people who are going to use AI, teach them how to do it the right way in order to protect personal information. AI also enhances our ability to do our work. We will do more with less employees using AI, and I think it is coming. I think the best way to consume it is the cloud because of the lack of hardware. But I think we need to guide and give guidance to people and citizens and companies and organizations on how to leverage AI so that the data is protected and we can maximize our use and quickly get in there. We cannot say we won't go. It has to be on our own equipment. We're going to limit ourselves. But I think giving the right guidelines will really help everyone.
Thank you, Sheikh Salman. General, how much is NATO prepared for this new kind of threats? Because if we look at NATO countries and how much do they spend on AI, the picture is not homogeneous at all. We have the United States, which spends almost double of all other European plus Canada together. So do you think that NATO members are prepared for these new kind of threats?
Well, it's difficult to say because, you know, the train of innovation, digital revolution, it's more than a transformation, it's really a revolution. It's already, the plan has already taken off. So it's for us to try to catch him because, and AI is not a question for tomorrow. It starts now, the future starts now. So, and we must not be shy, we must not be afraid of tackling AI, but we must be more specific, looking at the impact of AI, for instance, to solve cyber issues. We didn't discuss that so far, but I am a great fan in introducing AI, and some companies are very good in that already, to tackle the regulations, the threat intelligence, and so on and so forth. AI can help us to solve our problem with cyber today. So let's take AI in a positive way, while keeping in mind that one day there could be some state actors, sponsored actors, or cybercrime criminals, which we try to use AI to our detriment. But the most advanced we will be, and NATO is a good place to do that, the more we will do. AI is first and foremost about people. You know, it's called AI, but it's a collaborative intelligence. This is how we should build that and make sure that we control that, but that we take the full benefit of this huge mass of data to organize ourselves for the good. We cannot let other people to spoil our digital transformation for the best, and we must fight against the worst.
Thank you, General. Dan, when it comes to AI in particular, the approach that we have seen from Europe is regulation-driven versus, for instance, the United States, which is innovation-driven. So do you think, in order for Europe, for the security of Europe, do you think that its approach should change towards these big tech companies, because it needs these companies for its security?
Thank you so much. As you all know, European Union likes to set rules, which are important, to be very open. It's important in a digital world to play by rules, to have certain categories of rules. Of course, rules that are flexible, that do not kill innovation, do not kill initiative, but nevertheless, certain rules. Now, actually, next to the rules, the good news is that there is a lot of investment. And there is a lot of attention on those new technologies, in particular on AI. And I'm aware of many projects and initiatives financed by the European Union, actually, and by its member states that are focusing on developing the new generation of cyber technologies that are AI-driven. The way I see it, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. It's something that we need to all to focus and to encourage. And let's not forget, when it comes to this mix of AI, other new technologies and cyber, many of the best capabilities are in private hands, are with corporates, and that's why governments should work with those private actors, with businesses, and encourage them in order to develop the technologies that we desperately need, because we need to have options, and we need to have not only the human resource, but also those technologies that will help us to defend our infrastructure.
Thank you, Dan. We have, I think, less than 2 minutes left, so I'm going to keep it for a final common question for you all. What worries you the most? And where do you think immediate need for collaboration in the defense and security sector?
AI is
What worries you the most?
yes, because I mean now it's a tool that one person can actually look for more opportunities to attack you. So I think that is now not a theory, that is a practice. We've seen that happen. And there is tools out there that are actually leveraging it. So that is our fear.
So weaponizing AI.
It's already weaponized. So I mean, that is there.
Without regulations, without international regulations.
You cannot regulate these kind of tools, but you need to be aware, you need to be prepared, and you need to be able to collaborate and to find ways to recognize that attack, because it will follow a different pattern. And so international organizations such as MITRE, which is what we all use as a reference, sort of give us those indicators how to look for it. And I think that is my concern.
And the area of collaboration, immediate need.
With the experts in how to recognize it. So it is all, they go hand in hand.
General.
Well, my main concern is that we are attracted by what is happening on the day-to-day, the news, etc., but that we are not investing enough for the future, for the young generations, to give them a chance to take the best of digital transformation, to fight. They are clever, but we need now to form the basis for them to understand this new world and to act. So, and my wish is that we invest more and that we trust young generations.
Thank you, General. Dan?
I'm actually worried of what was shown on the screen earlier. The cost of cyber attack is decreasing.
That's true.
It's cheaper and cheaper to launch cyber attacks, and you need less and less skills. And I'm also worried, but hopefully in the same time, about the fact that a lot of business leaders and decision makers acknowledge that incidents will happen, so we should gradually move from traditional security and cybersecurity more towards resilience, to make sure that we stay resilient and we can recover and operate as usual, despite of those attacks that will happen anyway.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for these insights, and thank you for taking part of this conversation. Thank you.